do like how they give you 3 screws. 2 to use and 1 to lose.
It's like they know you.
I'm ready to build up the new Furler, which is super exciting. So excited for this new Furler.
I think it's a project we both might be the most excited about.
But to do that, we got to build up our floor stay first. So there's a couple things here. So we got a link plate here. So this goes into the masthead fitting. On the Albergs, the masthead fittings are too narrow to fit a toggle. So we have to use a link plate. And so we'll use just this section here. We'll cut off this excess here. So this allows it to extend out of the masthead fitting and have enough room to fit the toggle. It's a little extra hardware, but it's not a big deal. To the upper assembly. And at the bottom end, we got our turnbuckle, our mechanical fitting, an eye that fits into this special toggle that's used on the bottom. This is something that the Furler uses specially. So. So then when we do our eye-to-eye measurement, we go from the center of this one to the center of this guy.
Okay.
Then we cut the cable and then we do up our mechanical fitting. And when we're doing this, it's best to have your turnbuckle half to like 1/2 open, so you get some room for take-up wire stretch. It's 36 feet,
Yes.
6 inches.
Yes, and that's to the center of the other one?
Center of the eye.
Yes.
This includes this worksheet we're supposed to fill out. And I filled this out ahead of time
And put it in a spreadsheet.
and put it into a Google spreadsheet that we'll show you on screen.
It made me very, very excited.
Because I'm an engineer and Glenn's a banker, so spreadsheets are
I like.
common interest between the two of us.
So what are we doing first?
We're gonna they want us to lay everything out,
Okay.
dry fit it,
And then what?
and then we'll cut the top foil to section. But we're gonna double and triple check our measurements.
Okay. I feel like there's a reason you have like a professional do this. So if they screw it up, then they have to fix it.
There's also got a bunch of extra foil sections.
Okay. That's good.
After triple checking our measurements, we cut the top foil to length. Then, Andy used this little trick to mark the center line of the extrusion for the screw holes on the cut end. The Harken manual came with a handy template for drilling the holes. We then fed the foils onto the forestay and checked measurements again. Because the extrusion isn't round, the top bearing lined itself up with the holes we just drilled after just a few taps.
One tip for opening these little baggies.
Hopefully. Andy.
Before starting this section, you'll want to make sure that you have the correct connector length. There are two. One, the longer one, is for the bottom foil. The shorter ones are for all the others. Don't do what we did and get all the adhesive in on the too long one before you realized it wasn't enough. There will be 2 black pieces on either end that hook into the aluminum connector, and a spacer that goes on top of the holes drilled in the connector. Slide the connector into the foil until the foil holes line up with the connector holes. Add a little Loctite to the holes and the screws and screw it in place. Repeat for each end of the foils until all of them are connected. Once you finish connecting all of the foils, do one last measurement check before squeezing adhesive into the tiny hole between the 2 screw holes at each connection.
Together, slide on the upper swivel. Make sure, I guess, the arrow pointing up is up. Then we slide on this guy.
The last step before stepping the mast is to finish the bottom of our forestay. In our next video, we'll go into depth on the stay lock fittings we used.
So then that's what we're looking for. Nicely formed. Now that I'm ready to close these things up for good, I'm going to put a little bit of sealant in there, and that's just to keep moisture and dirt from coming inside and collecting. Extra features we added onto our Furler was the long link kit, which raises it up, the Furler drum off the deck a little bit. We did that so it'll clear the anchor roller. So it uses a special toggle here at the bottom that these side plates attached to. Then they bolt on.
The extension was installed after our mast was stepped. The only thing left to do was to put on our new 135 from Precision Sails and try it out. On our next episode, we'll finish replacing our standing rigging.